You will also need to reference correctly within your essay. So we did talk about in the first lecture around Harvard Reference system and how you reference a book, a journal, a website, more than three authors. So you do need to demonstrate that you can reference correctly within the text, and also that you reference correctly in the bibliography at the back. So for example, I gave you examples previously of how to reference. So you can see the difference between, on my left here, you can see the difference between referencing in the text, which is your writing, and you can see the difference between referencing your sources in a bibliography, or what we call the reference list, at the back of your essay. So you can see if you are referencing one author, you're just going to present the author's surname and then in brackets the year that that author wrote the book or published the article. And then we can see with the bibliography at the back, it is all in alphabetical order. So with the author's surname that comes first. And then you will present the author's initial with the year of publication in brackets, the name of the chapter or the book or the journal article, the book or the journal it's taken from, and then the publisher. And again, just being pedantic, full stops, commas, if they're not in the right place, you will get marked down, because that is what the Harvard reference system dictates. So we should be pretty familiar with how to reference a single author. So as I said, author's surname, year of publication in brackets. If you have two or three authors, you can see that it might be Smith and Davis, year in brackets. If it's more than three authors, we would write it as Smith et al. Okay, so you don't want to write all the authors' names if it's more than three authors. So make sure you understand how to reference a journal or a book, and we reference them the same way in the text if it's one author, two or three or more authors. If you're referencing websites, again, I mentioned it in the first lecture we did, don't put the URL www. And then the whole reference thing. You reference exactly the same as a book or a journal. So whatever the author's name is, whatever the organization's name is, you reference that, you put the year that you accessed the website in brackets. That goes into the text, the main writing. In your bibliography list at the back, again, you reference it the same as you would a journal or a book. The author, the year, the title, but you need to say where you accessed the information from and the date that you accessed it on. In terms of the bibliography, you can see there's a particular way you present the bibliography. So we can see the list of all the authors' surnames are in alphabetical order. So obviously the A's come first, then the B's, C's, and so on. Then you have a comma after the author's surname. Then you have all the initials of the author. If there's more than one author, you have to include all the authors within the reference in the bibliography. Once you've listed all the authors' surnames and initials, then you present the year in brackets, then it's the book title or journal title, then it's the book or the journal that it came from, and then the publisher, where it's Routledge, but London Routledge or Routledge London. So you can see with your bibliography, there's a particular way you reference that. And again, you'll be marked down. If you don't reference correctly in the text, so in your writing, and you don't reference correctly in the bibliography, you'll be marked down. Also, if there's references in your text that aren't in your bibliography, again, you'll be marked down, because what you're doing is you're evidencing a reference in your text and saying you've used it and you've used the book or the journal, and then when I've gone into your bibliography to look for it, it's not there. Okay, so let's make sure we reference correctly. So in terms of structure now, so you'll have three main parts to your essay. You'll have an introduction. So orientate the reader. Identify the focus, the purpose, the outline, the scope. Okay, so like I said initially, you provide some context and some background to what you're talking about. You're introducing a reader to what the essay is about. So you'll have a main introductory paragraph. And then you can see the main body of your essay is going to be broken down into what it says on the slides, topics, or what I said on a previous slide, themes. So every paragraph will have a theme. And within that paragraph, you will discuss and analyse that particular theme. When you get to the end of each paragraph, you're going to try and summarise it in some way, and then that point should lead on to the next paragraph so that there's a flow between each paragraph and each theme. And then at the last part of your essay, you'll have a conclusion. Okay, so you're going to try and summarise all the arguments that you presented within each paragraph. And if you get the structure right, your work will flow. It will be progressive, it will be logical, it will tell a story. Now, the common error that I get every year off students is that you present or you write sentences or paragraphs in what I call isolation. So the sentences don't link together, or the paragraphs don't link together or flow. To try and use sort of what we call conjunctive adverbs in between your sentences or your paragraph. Things like therefore, furthermore, in addition, as a result of, subsequently, consequently, moreover. So these are words that help to link and join sentences together or paragraphs together so that you have that flow between what you write. So that's what the structure of your essay should look like.